Hey MotoAmerica fans, this is Matthew Scholz. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the MotoAmerica YouTube channel for more coverage and also like or comment.
Our first race of this final day, the Stock 1000s ready to hit the track for their one and only time this weekend. It is a magnificent day with a cool breeze blowing. Temperature's supposed to be in the low 70s here at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca for stop number 5 of 9 of the MotoAmerica Championship. In Monterey, California, about 15 minutes down the road. It is a magnificent day. I just can't talk about how great the weather is. And look at the full field of riders you're going to be seeing today in the Stock 1000 class. I believe it was 44 riders signing up to enter this class. It is going to be busy out there, Roger Hayden. 44 guys on any given track, much less Laguna Seca, where they're going to be turning less than a minute and a half lap times. It's going to get busy.
Especially at the end of the race, it's going to get really busy. As we've seen in yesterday's races, a couple races had lap traffic to deal with the last couple races. So I assume with this grid being so full, which is awesome to see, but the leaders are going to run into some lap traffic there at the end of the race.
As the guys are getting a full grid spot today, they'll take off and do their reconnaissance lap and a full visual of what this track is all about. And the first 2 days have been a little bit warmer by this time during the day, but things are starting to heat up now. But it is a cooler day today than it was yesterday and the day prior. How's that going to affect these Stock 1000s?
I don't think it's going to affect them that much, really, just because it's really warm now and the sun's been beating on the track quite a bit. So if anything, I think the track might be a little better right now because the track temperature might not be as high as it has been in some of the other sessions, but the weather's been great this weekend, so I don't see it playing a huge factor in this race.
Corey Alexander, the guy to look for because he's coming off of back-to-back victories at the Ridge. He's also the points leader. 3 wins on the season with 5 podiums. I mean, he's the guy to look for. We don't have the defending champ in this class, a guy that Corey Alexander's raced against last year. Cam Peterson moved on to the Honda Superbike. They'll actually see each other when Corey on his Stock 1000 races in the Superbike Cup when they are paired with the Honda Superbikes later on this afternoon. But Corey again building and building and building, and right now he's on back-to-back wins. He's looking for that Stock 1000 race win turkey. As riders make their way through the corkscrew and then down through the valley, you look at our starting grid. Corey Alexander is the pole sitter. Ashton Yates put a hard charge onto the Ridge, but look at that. Bryce Prince back with us, a 70. He's been fast this weekend.
He's been really fast this weekend, and it's cool to see him back out here. And he's going to be tough to deal with for these guys.
Michael Gilbert hasn't looked as fast as we've seen him this season. Hopefully he's got things figured out when it comes race time. He'll start back, I believe, on that 3rd row. Find your favorite rider in the mix, whether it be Jeremy Coffey or Hunter Dunham. Hunter Dunham with a big wreck yesterday. I mean, he probably's glad there's only one race this weekend for him as far as the Stock 1000 goes, because that was a big auger.
Yeah, that was a big crash, and luckily for him, he, a little bit sore, but no injuries, and actually he's looking forward to the races.
Working through our field, Brian Evans, Dallas Sherman. I mean, again, when you look at this starting lineup, I could have swore I saw like 36 guys trying to qualify directly out of the Stock 1000s. We had some trying to qualify through the Superbike Cup, but it all added up to 44 riders in our field here. I'd like to welcome everybody to WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. I'm Robbie Floyd with Roger Hayden. As they're on the grid getting ready to go. The light's going to turn out. And Corey Alexander with a good jump. Ashton Yates, a little bit of a wheelie. That Honda has some power on the inside. I think we've got a new leader, Raj.
And Corey Alexander got a wheelied off the line and actually lost a couple spots. You see Jake Lewis making a move into 3rd and turn 2 already.
Well, the most pivotal turns there is that start. Turn 1's just a slight bend. Turn 2 is a big bend to the left. Now a couple of flat turns, turn 3 and turn 4.
And Corey already made a move on Jake Lewis first lap into turn 3, so you can tell that both those guys got their head down. Andrew Lee got a great start. He's worked himself all the way up into 4th already.
Andrew Lee started in 6th spot. Again, Andrew Lee, a 2-time champion in Stock 1000. We have not seen him racing for the lead. We've seen him up there near the top 5, but not the Andrew Lee we have been used to seeing. I thought I saw maybe Michael Gilbert up there a little bit closer as well. He started in 8th. Ashton looking for that first victory. I thought he might have had a shot. He did have a shot at the ridge, just come up just a little bit short, and Corey Alexander able to take that win. Alexander back there in 3rd spot. You see DeBrino in the 62 on the ridge, sponsored Kawasaki. DeBrino looking for that podium, man. I mean, he is so close each time.
Look at him already going in the last turn, making a pass for the lead.
Again, took that straight line approach. He had to shut it down. Now that Honda is in a little better position.
He's going to lose another spot, maybe to Corey. No, he held on in 2.
A little bend around turn 1. Corey Alexander trying to drive around the outside, doing that lean, that outside lean on DeBrino, and makes that pass. Aggressive move from the outside out of Corey Alexander on the 23.
Also, Bryce Prince made a pass on Jake Lewis into 2 as well. He can see the leaders trying to make a move and needs to get going. Jake Lewis looks like he's struggling a little bit early in this race.
He told me yesterday he was just looking for more grip, just not able to get all that power of that Suzuki GSX-R on the ground. But the Honda out in front, Ashton Yates, the 22, the 23 of Corey Alexander, Eddie DeBrino on the 62, Andrew Lee up there in 4th in the 14, or is he still on there? Yep, there's the 14. Look at that, the 2-time champ. Maybe he's got the feels for it. I'm seeing a lot of exit speed out of Corey Alexander going up that hill. Alexander starting to look racy, going to the inside. They're not able to do it this time. Which is more important to you at this track? Speed on entry, speed on exit? It always seems to be the exit, right?
Here, I think just focusing on keeping your momentum up. And, you know, we kind of seen Corey now. Looks like he's trying to, you know, strike as soon as possible and try to make a break like we've seen. Look at him in the last corner here. Can he hold the line, though?
Sure looks like he can. That looked like a good move. But now we'll see Ashton Yates trying to get in that slipstream. The power of the Kawasaki in front of the Honda, and boy, the Honda, and he grabbed a little extra there, and I think that little uh-oh might have cost Ashton, but he's still holding on to position, or does he? Alexander drives to the inside and takes back position. Exactly what Alexander wanted. You want to get aggressive? You're going to take that inside line? Here you go.
And also, whenever where Ashton is going into turn 2, when you're on the inside like that, making a pass, it's hard not to run a little bit wide.
Well, it looks like Andrew Lee, the 14, up there in the mix, more than we've seen him now up into 3rd place, Michael Hill.
Yeah, I just spoke to Eddie Andrews' dad as the sighting lap was taking place, and he said, we're feeling good. We made some changes, and Andrew is feeling the most comfortable that he has on the Kawasaki, and he certainly is. But what about the leading 2? Great stock 1000 racing here, and what that's done is it's brought the rest of the group together. So there's about 7 guys here now in this fight. It's a 14-wheeler. Any one of these 7 could be on the podium. Any one of these 7 could be the eventual winner, but it's Alexander into the corkscrew, and look at Andrew Lee. He's looking a lot more like his former self, the double champion, now into 3rd position. And as you guys have already said, this is the strongest that we have seen Andrew Lee, as he now thinks about attacking Ashton Yates through the rainy curve towards the end of this lap. Is he going to have a look on the inside? I think he is. Thinks better of it, but guys, this is a great race.
I don't know where Andrew Lee's been, but I'm glad to see him back, because this looks like the Andrew Lee I'm used to seeing, Roger.
And also, I mean, even though he didn't qualify that well, look at him trying to make it, moving up to 2nd right now.
What a pass. The 14 does get by Corey Alexander, the points leader.
And Ashton Yates goes to the lead.
Right. The way that I was looking at this go down, I thought we were going to see Corey Alexander try to check out. He was not able to do that.
No, not at all. And you can see this top 7 guys are getting closer and closer every lap.
Did 44 riders signed up for this stock 1000. Eventually, lap traffic could become a factor as well. When you have a big pack in front, that also makes things interesting.
Exactly, and also this track is kind of difficult to pass on just because there's not a lot of long straightaways to get a good run on somebody, not a lot of hard braking. So, you know, even when you come up on a lapper, they can be difficult to get by.
I was able to read the leathers. I think Jake the Snake back there the last time around in 6th spot. He's still hanging on to that group. Maybe he's trying to get the feels of that Suzuki, another name that has been there before and competed at the highest level in Honda Superbike. There's the 85 working his way down just in front of Travis Wyman, that Motul oil sponsored machine this weekend, helping him out. Wyman hasn't been there up in the front end this week yet, but put him in a racing situation, and he might be able to throw it in there as well.
No, he's there. And also, if you look in the background now, Michael Gilbert, he's kind of closed right up onto this group. So now we got an 8-rider battle.
And where's Gilbert been this week? I mean, the one thing I was wanting to talk about in this class is we see Andrew Lee with a lot of drive, is Michael Gilbert always is up near the front. Andrew Lee has not been this year. Now we're seeing Andrew Lee at the front, and we're seeing Gilbert starting to work his way back up at the front. This is what we've seen the last 2 or 3 years.
And it's really cool to see. Also, we've had a couple, we're seeing some different leaders this race. We haven't seen Ashton lead a ton of laps or Andrew Lee in the top. We've seen that a couple years ago, but Andrew Lee's looking really solid. It looks like he's already got some more pace, like he's trying to make a move on Ashton already.
One rider goes down, the 86. That's Jason Farrell on the Kawasaki. He was in 13th the last time around on the Franklin Armory entry, but another Franklin Armory Kawasaki in second spot right now, driving hard on the outside, getting a good run up that hill is Andrew Lee in second. Will we see a pass going into that corkscrew? Will he dive underneath? It's Honda and Kawasaki. Lee's looking racy. He's one to set up to the left. Ashton's not giving him anything.
No, he thought about it, but it just gets too tight up there if you don't have enough speed to really make it by.
Corey Alexander just sitting back there in the third. Do you think he's saving anything? Do you think he's just watching? If he knows he can't pull away, just kind of put himself there towards the end?
No, I think Corey would like to lead it. He kind of gets in his own rhythm when he's out front. I think he'd like to get in the lead and try to make an escape. But you see Ashton out, loses the spot to Andrew Lee, and then has a big bobble out of 11.
That's going to cost him, isn't it? I mean, I don't know. If not, that Honda's got a lot of strength in the 70 of Bryce Prince, moves up into third. And again, his first race, his only race with us this year is Bryce Prince, and he is putting it down. The 7-0 out of Bakersfield, California, the BPR tuning Yamaha is getting it.
And Travis Wyman also has moved up to fifth. He made a couple passes. We're going to see what Andrew Lee has now. It looks like he had a little bit of pace while he was running in second, and now out in the lead, you can already see he's kind of got his head down, trying to pull out a couple tenths.
Andrew Lee leading for the first time this year. Who would have thought halfway through this season Andrew Lee would not have been up front? I wouldn't have.
No, and we knew he's had the talent. Now he's on a bike that he's comfortable with, and got a good package under him and track that he likes. So it's cool to see him come out here and show his potential that we haven't seen all year.
Now, one thing about Andrew Lee, and I know there was a press release, he's not with the same team that he was in the first half of this year. Franklin Armory is still with him, but I think he's kind of doing his own deal. I don't know if that's a factor. Is it just that he likes Laguna Seca or what? But, I mean, this is the Andrew Lee that we were talking about. Would he get a ride in Hono Superbike?
Yeah. And look at Corey Alexander now working his way back all the way up to second after being fourth the lap before.
He knows he can't let Andrew get away as well. Freight train coming down that front straightaway, as Michael Hill calls it, a 14-wheeler when you have 7 bikes nose to tail. I mean, it might even be more than that.
Now it's 8 bikes.
Yeah, it's 8. With Gilbert in that 8 spot, moving up to 7th, dropping Jake Lewis back to 7th. Well, Travis Wyman, that last time around in 5th. One rider down, the 72. That's unfortunate. The Stephen Shakespeare shake and bake is out of this one. Travis Wyman, that last time circulating to 5th on that Motul BMW as Corey Alexander goes to make a pass. There's the 10 just behind. Michael, you have more in Travis?
Yeah, I've just been watching intently down here on the screen and just looking at the progress of Travis Wyman on the Motul-sponsored BMW. He's gradually working his way forward. He came past me on the start and finished 3 abreast with Bryce Prince and Andy DeBrino. And I believe now he's made another move. He's right up now behind Ashton Yates. He has got pace late in a race. How many times this year have we seen that from Travis Wyman on the BMW? I expect him to get faster and faster, and he's working his way forward for sure.
Yeah, Travis is one of those guys, he doesn't need to be there at the start, but he always seems to be there towards the finish, doesn't he?
Yeah, but look at the top 2 guys. You can see this lap. They kind of broke up the pack.
In the best lap of the race, what are we at? 1:27.1, I think. That was Corey Alexander.
26.7 for Bryce Prince.
Ooh, you're not lying. I just saw that. And Bryce Prince sits in 4th, but it shows that he can be the fastest. Compare that to a 26.0. That's what the fastest qualifying speed was. Only two guys able to turn 26s, Travis Wyman and Bryce Prince, the only two riders to turn 26s during the race.
We kind of seen this out of Corey last race when he was in Washington, you know, be really aggressive, get out in the lead, kind of get in his rhythm and, you know, start to pull away.
In that race, it was Ashton Yates who's back there, I think, in fourth, who was all up in his tail feathers and putting the pressure on. And it looked like that one time when Corey Alexander was able to pull away towards the end of the race, he was starting to lose that rear tire. And then we started seeing some mistakes out of Corey Alexander. The most experienced champion that we have in this class is the rider that sits in second, the 14 of Andrew Lee. He'd already won 2 championships. Corey Alexander looking for his first Stock 1000 championship.
And you can see Andrew Lee hanging in there pretty tough. He's not wanting to let Corey get away. And Andrew Lee looks like he looks really comfortable there to me.
Now, I'd mentioned how just 2 years ago when Andrew Lee won his second championship in Stock 1000, the question was, where was he going to go? He wanted to have a Honda Superbike ride. That ride was not there for him. I believe the way the rules sat at that time, I don't know that he could win a third Stock 1000 championship. The way I was hearing everybody was talking about, no, he's going to have to move up. I don't know if that was by choice or if he was forced to move up, but now I believe he can ride, or we're seeing him ride in Stock 1000 and riding in the best form that we've seen him all year long. Corey Alexander, Andrew Lee, Travis Wyman, 1, 2, 3, 2 Kawasaki's and a BMW in third. Bryce Prince dropping off a little bit. Another rider down. They're starting to drop like flies. The 124 this time. That's Scott Brody out of New York on the Innovative Motorsports Kawasaki. Lap 9 of 14. Still plenty of time. And plenty of time for Travis Wyman to get back up in there in that duo.
And you can already see in the first sector, he was a 10th quicker than Corey Alexander. Another 10th quicker in the second sector. So he's going to make up a little bit of time this lap.
It doesn't hurt your feelings too much if you're third, if you can just keep them there and know that you're picking off a little bit here and there.
He's going to wish that these top two would start battling a little bit, slow each other up, and give him a better opportunity to close that gap quicker.
And don't make me burn up my Dunlops quite as much. Let these guys fight. There goes Alexander, closed him off. When you saw Andrew Lee going underneath, Corey knew he needed to shut that door. He did that. And here's a case where Andrew Lee could possibly dive underneath, but half the times when we see guys go to that inside line, they lose all that speed and all that exit.
And we've seen Andrew Lee actually the last couple laps look like he's trying to set Corey up in the last turn, turn 11.
See that 0.06. And look at Wyman. Wyman has really snuck into that picture. It looked like it was a 2-rider race with Wyman closing in. He has closed in now.
And then also, if you look at Bryce Prince and Jake Lewis the last lap, they were quicker than the leaders as well.
They're starting to push, and they see it. I saw a purple for Jake Lewis. That means he was the fastest of everybody in sector number 4. There's 4 sectors here at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. There's the championship points as they sit right now. Corey Alexander would have a 22-point advantage over Jake Lewis. That's because Jake Lewis sits back in 5th spot right now. That's not what Jake the Snake wants. There's the 85. He knows he picks up another spot. That's more points. He cannot let Corey Alexander get away.
No, I look at Travis Wyman.
I'm impressed with him, and Michael called it out. He's always there at the end. He doesn't panic. Well, we see Alexander, Lee, Wyman, 1, 2, and 3 in our picture. Bryce Prince trying to close in. And Jake Lewis, again, another green sector in sector 1, Michael.
Yeah, just looking down at the times of Jake Lewis. Jake Lewis on the last 2 laps and on this lap as well is 0.4 of a second quicker. In fact, half a second quicker on the last 3 laps than the leading 2 riders. Keep your eyes on Jake Lewis. He is not out of this by any stretch. He's now right on the back of Bryce Prince, and he's going to be finding a way through. He just set the fastest lap of the race, of his personal race rather, 126.9. That was 0.6 of a second quicker than Andrew Lee, and that's 1.5 seconds he's taken out of the leaders in the last 3 laps.
The thing is, he's got to click off Bryce Prince. That's going to be the one thing. He has to get Prince quicker. These guys, he's not going to have the opportunity to catch them.
Talk about these guys starting to, maybe battle at the front. He's another guy that's going to want to see those guys starting to battle. But you can see this lap, the top 5 guys are getting closer together.
Yeah, especially Wyman now is in there. There is a hard run up to the corkscrew. with Jake Lewis, and now he sees that all 5 are pretty much equal, but he still has to pick off one after another if he's going to have a chance for a victory. We've already seen several different winners this year, starting with Michael Gilbert, Travis Wyman, Jake Lewis, Corey Alexander. They've all won races this year, and we're throwing Bryce Prince in the mix as well with Andrew Lee in this race. Going to be 3 laps to go the next time around. Who is that went down there?
Number 161.
161, that would be Zahar Zvik out of Israel in the Wawa Racing entry. So Zvik's out of it. The yellow flag's going to be waving that part of the course. Michael Gilbert in 6 had his personal best that last time, but you see the 6th spot. He's back there, a little gap in between. He's not going to be, I don't know that he can make up that distance. Crazy things that happen. Now you're sitting there looking at, if I can just put a big push on, maybe I can finish on the podium, some way to get up to 3rd. Let's find out what happened to Zahar Zvik. Boy, he ran off fast.
Ran off into turn 6.
Oh, man.
It's kind of easy to do there as the track goes away. The bike gets a little bit light. Jake Lewis making the move into turn 5 on Bryce Prince.
That moves him up into 4th, and that's what I said. He needed to get by Prince fast. That drops Prince back to 5th spot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, you could throw a blanket over them. Actually, Andrew Lee dropping back just a tad, and then they close back up again.
And with the laps winding down, as soon as Jake Lewis gets on these guys, he has to pass them immediately. He can't follow them.
They're going to get the 2 sticks the next time they come around, if they do show that, showing that there's 2 laps remaining, and then the white flag will follow the next time. Out in front, Corey Alexander on the Kawasaki, rider number 23. Out of Austin, New York, Hanos HVMC Racing Kawasaki leads Travis Wyman on that Motul BMW. +0 means he is all up in your business. Look at it. Wyman goes to the inside. Wyman for the pass on Alexander. Can he hold it? Alexander still tries driving. Look at him lead in. Wyman's going to hold spot, but now he pushes wide. Alexander goes the inside, but Wyman grabbing some throttle, and that bike's bucking him.
And Jake Lewis also made a move on Andrew Lee. Same corner.
And this is the time. This is exactly what Jake Lewis wants to see. Those 2 guys battling. He makes a pass on Andrew Lee. Jake Lewis, is he still in 3rd? You see that bike, that Suzuki bucking behind him. He's looking to catch up to this duo. I think that helped him a little bit with these guys going back and forth, just like you said.
How fast has this changed? A couple laps ago, Corey Alexander was in the lead. Jake Lewis was in 6th. Now they're 2nd and 3rd.
One after the other, and Jake Lewis knows that if I can get a good drive, maybe pick off one guy. That one guy is Corey Alexander. If I can get him before I get that white flag, where can I do it? You kind of almost want to do the same thing that Wyman does, because you expect Alexander to do the opposite, right?
Look at Corey here in the rainy curve.
Awesome. Wayne Raiden would be proud. Corey Alexander takes the pass on Travis Wyman, and there he is. There's Jake the Snake in 3rd, all over him. Snake going to the inside. Jake thinks the better of it. Looks for that drive coming out of that final turn 11. When they come down this straight, look for that white flag. It is going to be the last lap. There's the Sheeta waving. Corey Alexander, Travis Wyman, Jake Lewis separated by 0.2 of a second.
Also, these guys are going to come up with some lappers this lap as well.
We knew it. With 44 riders in the field, we've lost a few to attrition. They've hit the deck, but these guys are flying. And what are you taking your hand off? Here comes the leaders, and they are blowing by you, and they don't know what to do. The leaders have no idea what these guys are going to do, and that always makes things crazy.
It helped out Corey, though.
Yes.
He was able to get a little bit of a gap.
Was that Jeremy Cook that was, I think he was upset with another rider, but you can't do that at this time. And I don't even see any of those guys in the top 20. So I mean, the blue flag was waving. There's a race going on, and they're not in it. Really, it looks like a race now. Can Travis Wyman get by Corey Alexander and get his 2nd race win of the year? He won back at Road Atlanta 2. The final lap of this one. Only a few turns remain. I mean, the Kawasaki has a good advantage, but watch out also Jake Lewis. Those are points that he's losing. If he can't get by Wyman, let's see the power of that BMW who sits in second. The Kawasaki, Hono's Kawasaki of Alexander. There goes the BMW to the line.
Wyman wins.
Travis Wyman by 0.032 seconds. Wow. Motul, and he has no idea. Motul had come on board this weekend and they take the win. Travis Wyman gets that second victory at the stripe, and now he knows. He can see a tally board somewhere. Corey Alexander by 0.032 seconds finish the rears of Wyman, and 2/10 behind is Jake Lewis. Andrew Lee, Bryce Prince round out the top 5. Look at this. I mean, that's a good drive by Alexander. A little bit of a wiggle.
But the wheelie's what got Corey Alexander.
But, I mean, we're seeing wheelie out of Wyman, too, but it's a straight wheelie, right? He was getting it hammered down. And, again, this may be or may not be official until we see that photo finish, and there's coming across the stripe. And by about a wheel length is Travis Wyman. He was getting that power down, Roger.
Got a really good run out of the last corner, and also that's what the BMW is known for. It's, you know, it's really fast.
Wow. One of 3 Wymans racing today is brothers Cody and Kyle. Fist bump by Andrew Lee. We said there could have been 5, 6 guys that could have won that race. It was exactly what we thought it would be. Unfortunately, and I said at the top, with 44 riders, you knew they would be a factor sometime, and for some reason, they happened to catch a gaggle of riders at one of the most inopportune times.
And also, to me, I thought Corey got a nice little gap the beginning of that lap with the lappers pulled out like a, you know, half a second. So I thought maybe that was enough that he needed.
It might have been a shot. Jake Lewis could have done that. I mean, who knows what could have happened, you know, heading up that hill. But either way, Travis Wyman takes the victory, and thumbs up there and a congratulatory handshake. Lewis over Wyman. That actually helped Jake Lewis a little bit. Corey takes that win. I mean, that's max points. That's 25, so he's only going to lose a couple to Corey Alexander. You get 20 points for second, 16 points for third. Jeremy Coffey giving thumbs up to Travis Wyman. He sees that he takes the win. Let's take a look at our results of the Stock 1000s here at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. The one only race for the Stock 1000s. I'd be smiling too if I were Travis Wyman by 0.32. That's 32 thousandths of a second. Max Girardo with another strong finish on his Kawasaki. Ashton Yates, we saw him up front. He drops back to 8th spot. A disappointing run for him. Andy DeBrino, we saw him up near the front. And Michael Gilbert actually finishing 6th. That's been pretty good because he really hadn't been there this week. And that's something we always see him up at the front of the pack. Hunter Dunham just outside the top 10. Wyatt Ferris does finish inside the top 10. And there's that tally board that Travis Wyman was able to see. I know that he didn't know he won that race when he come across the stripe.
He didn't know till he seen that board there, and you can see that as you come out of turn 2 headed into 3, and you can see as soon as he seen that board he knew he won.
That it was fist bump city. Yeah, what a run. And now the emotions start getting to him. And again, this is a privateer effort for the 10 and Travis Wyman. And I was unaware that he had the moto help this weekend until we saw that red bike. And normally, you know, he's on that white steed, but as soon as it went red and Motul, he takes his first victory, and that's what you want to do for your sponsors.
And also to win at Laguna Seca, a track it's one of those that you pull into that, you know, has that different feeling like a Daytona or somewhere like that, like Indy, and come here to win at Laguna Seca is a really good feeling.
Yeah, this is, I mean, he's won races before. He won this year, but this is the one you put on that mantle. Laguna Seca, WeatherTech Raceway. I mean, it just doesn't get any better here in the United States than this facility, and taking such a hard-fought victory. It was not handed to him. Good back and forth between he and Corey. You saw how aggressive he was going underneath Corey, and we saw Corey doing a lot of those inside leans, but that's how he was able to go fast. But you saw the determination out of Travis Wyman when he went inside and didn't want to give up that position.
And especially in the last lap when Travis Wyman lost a little bit of a, you know, about a half a second in those lappers, he never gave up, kept pushing all the way till the end.
He makes his way through Parc Ferme and over to the victory podium, and he will stand next to Jake Lewis and Corey Alexander, his title rivals. Still a chance to win the championship in the Stock 1000. We're halfway through the season. Corey Alexander not able to get that MotoAmerica turkey going back to back to back, and Travis Wyman broke up that streak. And still a lot of love on that podium between Corey Alexander and Travis. That was as a racer, that's what you want, Roger. I mean, you want somebody to be there and fight with you to the end. Don't do anything crazy. Don't run you into the weeds. Don't do, don't block you.
We've seen these guys race close all year. We've seen Jake and Corey Alexander at VIR have a really good last lap, and these guys are battling it out.
Can't get much better race than what we just saw in the Stock 1000s, Michael Hill, and it's Travis Wyman on the Motul BMW on top.
Yeah, the BMW boy has done it again. Let's get in and have a word with him. A new sponsor on board this weekend. 32 1,000ths of a second. Boy, you like to keep us on the edge of our seats. What a race.
Man, I got such a bad start, and I knew we had the pace to get up front, but this is such a stacked field. Everyone's riding so well, as you guys saw in those first handful of laps. Man, I'm just so emotional. I'm like out of words. I picked a few guys off, and I saw Corey and Andrew battling up ahead of me, and I knew I had pace on them, but I knew it was going to be tough to get the victory. And it sure would be nice if there were some blue flags out there, because that made our last couple laps pretty difficult. But hats off to Corey for a hell of a race. Got to thank BMW for giving me a hell of an engine to drive Corey at the line, and got to thank Motul for stepping up big, hustle hard performance, Shoei, Cortec, Evol Technologies, my entire team, Steve and Alex, Justin, my mom and dad, my girlfriend. There's so many people that have helped me, and this is so unbelievable. This is probably one of the greatest achievements in my racing career, that race right there. So.
What a great ride. Back to you. A very, very happy race winner, Travis Wyman.
I'm glad Travis said that, because I was going to say that to you, Raj. That is the best race I've seen Travis Wyman in.
Yeah, I mean, just to get a bad start, come through the field like that, and even mid-race, he was about a second back, put his head down, and caught up to the leaders and made it happen.
Well, he extended his, Corey Alexander wasn't able to get the max points this weekend, but you still have to be pretty happy with that ride finishing second, Michael.
Yeah, I'm sure he's a little bit disappointed to lose out by the smallest of margins, but you're still got to be happy with that performance. A great ride from start to finish.
Yeah, we really honestly just struggled with grip for the majority of that race after the first three or four laps. So it's kind of just managing. I wasn't expecting Travis to come up there. He was I saw Andrew behind me a few times try to make a move, and then when I knew Travis was there, I knew I had my hands full, because yesterday in the Superbike race, I could just see how good his bike was, and honestly, we were struggling out of the last turn, so I wasn't sure how close he was going into there, so I kind of protected a little bit, and then my bike spun up. I just had no grip coming out, and that didn't help my drive. But anyways, it was a great weekend coming off the double win at the Ridge last round. We kind of kept the momentum going forward and with the pole position, and I really wanted to win that one just to kind of keep us headed in the right direction, but that's about as close as it gets. So really have to give a hats off to my whole team. They worked really hard. Even though we did a really good time yesterday in qualifying, the Superbike race was tough yesterday, so we kind of had to go back to the drawing board last night a little bit and try to figure out what we could do to maximize our potential in this race. And so yeah, thanks to my guys, Chris, Richie, DJ, Tim, my girlfriend, Kaylin, just everybody that sponsors us and supports us. Honos HVMC Racing, Grays Motorsports, Chuckwalla Valley Raceway, New Age Cycles, Drip and Wet Designs, Iconica, Rye Helmets, Alpine Stars Leathers, just everybody that supports us. It's happy to be up here again, and obviously, for me, in the back of my head is points. We want to beat Jake. That's kind of where our championship battle is at the moment. If Travis keeps riding the way he's riding today, it might be a little more of a challenge between the three of us. But either way, it's points, and now we get to go to some other tracks that I really enjoy.
Good job. Thank you.
Strong run by Corey Alexander. He finishes second. He actually extends his points lead. That's because he beat Jake Lewis to the line.
Yeah, great ride for him, and extends his points lead.
Let's go down to Jake.
Yeah, I'm here with our third place finisher, Jake Lewis, third manufacturer on the podium. Jake, another podium that's important for the championship. Tell us about your race.
Yeah, honestly, it's super frustrating. It was my decision and the team's decision to run the harder rear tire, and I think we were the only one in the top 8 running it, and that couldn't get going at the beginning. They were just smoking me, and I was stalling Corey and Andrew like way out front, and I was like, I just did the best I could. You know, I charged the whole race, made some hairy passes, and it just sucks losing. You know, I hate losing, and especially after the pace we had yesterday in the Superbike race. And this third's not enough, and I wish I could have rewarded the Altus Motorsports teams with a win. But third's not bad, you know, good points day, and I can't thank the whole team enough. You know, we made a lot of crew changes for this race to have a smoother weekend, and it was definitely that. And so big thanks to my crew chief, Eric Gray, my mechanics, Ryan, and Ben Fox from Team Hammer, and the M4 guys for helping us sort the bike out. Arai helmets, Cortec leathers, Service Tools and Plastics, Rockloon International, my girlfriend for being here and supporting me this weekend, my mom and family, and all my friends and family back home watching. Thank you.
Thanks, Jake.
What a race in Stock 1000s. We've got the Roland Sands Super Hooligans coming up next. Can we see another performance just like we saw out of Travis Wyman? Stick with us here on MotoAmerica Live Plus.